Welcome to Season 3 of the Biz Show, sponsored by Invest Choir. Discover what's next with this insightful podcast. And now, your hosts, Barry and Lisa.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Biz Show. I'm your host, Barry Biz. Hope everybody's doing great out there today. And just another formality here. It's going to be a single podcast. Lisa and I were just barely syncing up our schedules, and unfortunately, she became a little bit ill, so I'll be doing this simple again today. But no worries, I'm here, and we'll get through. This next one is actually I want to talk about one of the most misunderstood skills in business, and that skill is pricing your product, right? How do you do that? And how do you know what to price it at? It's, most small business owners worry about charging too much. But here's the truth. You don't win by being the cheapest. You win by being the most valuable, right? So if you ever said, I can't charge that much, this episode is for you. And a spoiler alert here, price is a reflection of perceived value, not just your cost or your competitors' rates. It's perceived value. And that's really what you need to try to get across to your customers, perceived value. So let's drive down in there. Why most small businesses undervalue themselves. What do you think that is? There's many different reasons why, people charge what they charge. A lot of people think, I want to get in and being I'm brand new on the market, I'm going to charge the lowest. That's not a good strategy, right? Charging based on hours, not outcomes. Now this is a pitfall, right? There's a couple of pitfalls here, right? And that is, again, let me say that. Charging based on hours, not on outcomes. So somebody says, I charge, $25 an hour, $50 an hour, $250. Okay, that's good. But what am I getting for that? What is perceived value of that $250 an hour? What am I getting? All right. So there's a pitfall. Another one is underpricing out of fear of rejection. And fear of rejection isn't everybody, right? And so you're looking at your competitors and what they're charging, and I'm just going to charge $1 less or $10 less, whatever the case may be. You haven't done your homework, right? And that's what I'm suggesting to you. Study your competition, do your homework. Don't benchmark. Another pitfall is benchmarking against mass market competitors instead of premium players, right? When you charge for a commodity, you get treated like one. So, and what I mean here is this. When you're looking at your pricing structure, take a look at all your competitors, absolutely. But identify your competitors as who are your low value competitors, your medium value competitors, and then who are your premium competitors, right? And then depending on the product that you have, whether it's a service or a product, try to price accordingly. But here's the deal, right? You can charge $8 for, let's just say, a wrench. And your competitor might charge $4. And another competitor might charge $26, right? So where is that happy medium, number one? But what are they getting out of your wrench that they're not getting out of your competitor's wrench? Of course, I'm just using a wrench as an example. But those are things. Here's a big tip, right? People buy emotionally, not just logically. And what I mean here is this. If you can build a connection with a customer and build an emotional relationship, they're going to buy from you. People buy from people they like. They're not going to buy from, if they got somebody they like that's selling something and somebody else is selling the same thing, the person that they like is going to get the business. So those are something that always should be in the forefront of your mind. Also, keep in mind this, right? Packaging is perceived value. And what I mean by that is why packaging matters more than price, right? Because what do you have in that package, right? People don't buy hours, they buy results. And, as I mentioned earlier, right? They don't buy hours, they buy outcomes. Same thing, they don't buy hours, they buy results. So clear, outcome-driven packages reduce the friction and increase trust in you, because you spelled out in the package what's in this package. This package has boom, 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 boom. The next package has a different and a little bit more, and the next one has a little bit more. And of course, each one of those pricing structures are a little bit more too. So here's a couple of tactics to take a look at, right? Name your services, right? So just don't say, oh, we have consulting services, right? Put something to it, right? Something like, maybe you got something tangible, deliverables, like, we have playbooks, roadmaps, and reports, different reports for this, that, and the other. But playbooks and roadmaps are really good, and blueprints too, right? So customers, at least in the service business, they're looking for ways to get stuff done. And if you've done it and you figured out a path that works well, people are going to want to buy it. You just need to know how to name it then and how to price it. And that's kind of what this podcast is about today. So, but look at tangibles, right? And the names for those things. So, use language that communicates value. Launch strategy instead of marketing call. I hear these all the time, and I get emails and texts. Hey, we got a marketing call coming up, and we'll talk about launching a new business. That's so old. Number one. Number two, it doesn't really give a perception of what it is. It's a marketing call for launch a business. So a launch strategy is another one. Also, another one would be, instead of giving hourly advice, maybe it could be operational blueprint. Again, it puts a whole mindset into the customer of what are they getting? Well, they're getting a blueprint that's going to spell out a roadmap for them to follow to get from point A to point B. Whereas hourly advice is what? Hourly advice. And, sometimes talk is cheap. So here's a pro tip, right? Naming your offer is the cheapest rebranding you can do. And what I mean by that is this. If you've named a product and it's not working, no one says you can't rename it, right? Rename it, remarket it. This is the cheapest thing you can do, right? You don't have to do anything. It don't cost you nothing just to put a different name to it. Other than maybe you might, in your marketing materials, change the name. But chances are real good you or your team might be doing your marketing material. If not, you might be paying someone else to do it, and there might be a small cost associated with that. If you don't know how to do marketing material, nobody does, we can help you with that, right? Definitely reach out to us at InvestQuire, and we will be glad to sit down with you, figure out what you need, and come up with something. So, the next thing that I want to talk about really is the power of tiered pricing. And it's powerful, right? Why does it work, right? Offer choice without overwhelming customers. So they get different choices, right? And they get to pick and choose, right? It captures more types of buyers. You can capture low-end buyers, medium buyers, and high-end buyers. And that anchors your higher tier packages as a premium package. Those are easy things to do, right? If you want to create for instance, with us, we do have premium service. Our absentee concierge service provides a basic, a medium, and then a comprehensive service. And the basic service is, we will perhaps do your books for you, and then some basic management. The medium service, really, we kind of take over and take over a lot of the day-to-day operations for you, and provide reports and everything else. Comprehensive is everything we do. We basically run your business for you, and almost like property management, right? You are a business owner. You purchased a business, but you don't want to run it, and for various reasons, right? Either it's just an investment for you. You bought it. You're parking your money there for a couple of years, and then we'll sell it later on that road. B, you're geographically located on one side of the country versus the other side. But like the market it's in, the price is right, you bought it, now you need somebody to manage it. And so here's our absentee owner concierge service for you. But anyways, there's different tiers, right? We'll just do a couple little things for you and help you fill in the gaps, versus complete management for it. You're sitting back and we'll send you reports and a check on, from the profits of whatever's decided that's going to be. But that is probably one of the best ways to get your product out there and appeal to all markets, right? So the passive care system is, again, the basic, the standard, the premium, right? Basic being lean support, standard being your most popular balanced value versus price support, and then the premium being VIP access, fast turnarounds, deeper involvement. Here's another pro tip. Always build your middle package first. That is your sweet spot. So the middle package should always be your sweet spot. And that's just the services or whatever, the product that you're going to sell on a regular basis versus, and then you can scale that down and you can scale it up. By the way, we also offer a fourth tier, which is custom. We'll sit down with you and we'll decide exactly what you need. Maybe you need this. Maybe you need accounting and bookkeeping, but you don't need marketing. Or you need marketing, but you don't need HR. So those are definitely things that you can pick and choose in the custom. So, we talked about the tiers. We talked about packaging. We talked about undervaluing yourself, so on and so forth. But probably your best pricing tool you have is brand. And what is brand? We've had a couple of podcasts in the past about brand. And basically, that brand is you, right? And it's not just you per se, the business. And really what that brand refers to is when, for instance, when you see red and white, what do you think? A lot of people think of color. When you see a kind of like a swoop check mark, what do you think of? Nike. So those are marketing, but they're also branding, right? And what is branding? Really, let's talk. Building a perceived value again is the big piece of it, right? So you want a clean website, consistent messaging that provides trust to the customer. Testimonials, case studies, and videos that provides proof to the customers. And then clear niche positioning gives pricing confidence. You're in this niche, you know this niche well, as you own the niche, so the customer's going to be confident that that's the space you work in, and they know that they're going to get the best work and quality out of it. Let me ask you this. Ask yourself this. What makes my offer different? Not just cheaper, but different, right? You look at your competitors, and they got a green and a red widget, and you got a green and red widget. Why is your widget different? Is perceived by the customer. Why is it perceived different by the customer? And that could be a lot of different things. Maybe it's the material it's made out of. If it's a service, maybe it's the service technician or whoever is providing that service, their years of experience. Those are things that you definitely should look at, right? So, what makes you different? What makes you different than your competitors? And then also ask yourself this: what is the cost of not hiring me? Think about that for a minute, because, I've had these conversations in the past with customers, and what happens is, oh, I don't need this or whatever. But, if you can ask that question, well, what's it going to cost you if you don't hire me, right? And let's say you charge $25 an hour, and you're going to do 4 hours worth of work. You give them what they want. And so they're going to spend $100, and they got the results they need. They got whatever the case might be. But if you weren't there and you didn't do that work for them for $100, then where are they going to be? Number one, the product or the service, whatever it is not going to get done, or it's going to get pushed out. Number two, their customers aren't going to be happy with them, and they're going to leave. And now they've lost more than $100. So think about when you're marketing and pricing and everything, keep that in mind. And that's something that you need to take a look at. Also ask yourself, how can I show premium before I say premium? And that's key, right? For me, here's a list of services you're going to get. But I also talk about, my past clientele that I've worked with, the Levi Strauss, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, GE Capital, the state of California, Big O Tires, Clorox, NASA, Nestle. The list goes on and on, right? So I personally have been in the playing field and played and worked for and made successful some of these companies, not overall, but in whatever, niche I was working in for them. So, those are things that you can bring to the table that can convey premium to them, convey a premium service to them before you say the word premium. And, always try to upsell too, right? If they start on the low services, you might want to try to get them to the medium or to the premium. But, and this is a good way of doing it, right? Well, here's what you're going to get, if you do this. And, so here's another pro tip. And this is something that, I've learned a long, long time ago, that luxury isn't about the price. It's about how you make someone feel. Think about that. And let me say that again. Luxury is not about the price. It's about how you make someone feel. And let me tell you a story. This is a good story. I've used it for a long time. Some of the companies might not be around anymore, but you probably know the name well. But I want to talk about the luxury piece of it and how do you make customers feel. And specifically, let's talk about customer service. If you go into a Kmart and you're looking for the shoe department, And so you walk into Kmart, you see the little blue light spinning up there. They get that blue light special. But you can't find the shoe department, and you're looking around for somebody to point you in the right direction to the shoe department. You can't find nobody. Right? Basically, you're on your own. And you have to trudge through the entire store until you find the shoe department. Versely, or alternatively, you go to Target. And in Target, you're looking for the shoe department. You walk in, and you can't find the shoe department, but yet you see a salesperson there, or a cashier, or clerk, and you ask them, "Hey, I'm looking for the shoe department. Where's the shoe department?" And they're going to point and say, "Oh, it's over here in the back corner on the left side." Okay, that's better. That's a lot better, right? That's your medium service. But still, you've got to work your way down to yourself. Then, for the premium service and the luxury part of it, right? You walk into Nordstrom's, and you're looking for that same shoe. What happens is this. "Hey, how you doing? I'm looking for the shoe department." "Oh, you are? Okay, cool. Come with me. I'll show you where it's at. My name's Bill, by the way. What's your name?" "Oh, hey, I'm Barry." And so now you guys strike up a whole conversation. You're talking the whole way to the shoe department as you guys are walking, and Bill is now finding out a little bit about me, and we're talking about this, that, and the other. So by the time you get to the shoe department, Bill's now doing a warm handoff to the salesperson in the shoe department. Bill's like, "Hey, George, how are you? This is Barry here. He's looking for some shoes. And, he just came from wherever, and he's in a hurry, but, he's looking for this type of shoe." So there's your warm handoff, and there's your luxury, right? And then in your premium service, he's built a rapport and a relationship with you in a matter of minutes. And now he can then take that, and you feel special because he knows your name, he knows what you're looking for, and he's handed you off to somebody who now you feel you're in their trusted hands to, get the shoes that you're looking for. So again, luxury is not about the price. It's about how you make someone feel. Lastly, let's talk about when is the right time to raise your prices, and how do you test that? So you should raise prices when you're booked out weeks in advance, right? And you're just solidly booked. It's time to raise your prices. You're also, you're attracting bargain shoppers who don't necessarily value your work. And then another one is you've improved your services or your offerings with more results and better service. These are the key 3 things that you need to look at to, increase. You should be increasing your prices. How do you test that? I've always tested it with a quick little soft launch. And I'll offer new pricing to new customers, new leads. The pricing's phenomenal, right? And I'll test it and see, if there's a box, or if they're okay with that. And, you can't just do it with one customer. You're going to have to do it with, a sampling of customers, maybe 10, maybe 20, and kind of get a feel. It depends on the size of your business and who you're working with. Another time to raise prices too, I should have thrown it in there, is really once a year. Prices that seem to go up every time, once a year. With the cost of living, right? Cost of living goes up, prices go up. Or the COLAs, as they're called, the cost of living allowances. So anyways, yeah, you can test that with soft launches and basically new pricing to new customers. Also, you can frame price increases as next level support for evolved off. So what I mean by that is, say something like, We've added more personalized support so that this product is now our next level plan. And then people go, okay. And, if they don't want it, then you need to somehow adjust it, maybe take back some services, pull them off, and see how they feel about that. But those are alternatives to, and quick ways to just test the waters and see how they work. So anyways, I just wanted to go over this podcast, the whole pricing perceived. There's so much more to talk about, but again, I can't stress enough. You got to do your research on prices, right? Find your low end, your medium, and your high end competitors. Figure out where you fall into that scale, and then I would always suggest this: once you figure out where you want to be, go 10% higher. You can always lower your price. It's easy to do that. It's a lot more difficult to raise your price, especially with customers who already have your services. So I typically always try to price out higher and then come back. Oh, we're going to give you a 10% discount or 15% or 20, whatever, however it works out to be where that sweet spot is. So pricing power is not about egos. It's about clarity, confidence, and communicating that the true value of what you bring. Those are the key things, right? If you believe in your results, you should price it like it. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. I hope you guys all have a great day out there. Please don't forget to reach out to Lisa or myself at the Biz Show here. You can also get a hold of us at our company website at investquire.com. You can find Lisa or myself there. You can reach out to either one of us. We also have a Facebook page called The Biz Show. And, we'd love to hear from you guys and see what you guys are interested in hearing about. And, get some feedback. Do you like the show? And, what are some other things you might be interested in this? Okay, that's it, guys. Well, I hope you have a great day and go out there and make some money and have fun doing it. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Biz Show podcast. Subscribe to stay updated and follow Barry and Lisa on Facebook at The Biz Show. Share your comments or suggest specific business topics you'd like to hear. Bye!